Hi everybody, and welcome to the word problem of the day. This is word problem number 5. So we're going to redraw right. Thomas has 2 sheets of paper. He wants to punch 4 equally spaced holes along the edge of each sheet. Draw Thomas's 2 sheets of paper next to each other so the ends meet. Label a number line from 0 at the start of his first paper to 2 at the end of his second paper. Show Thomas where to punch his papers and label the fractions. What fraction is labeled at the 8th hole? So we've got a lot going on in this problem. What we're looking for is what fraction, oh that's terrible, what fraction is labeled at the 8th hole. So we want to know what fraction is labeled at the 8th hole. So I'm actually going to write that down so I know what I'm doing. Blank is labeled, it's right in the sentence, so I spell it correctly, at the 8th hole. So just remember what I'm looking for. I'm trying to figure out what is labeled at the 8th hole. So I'm going to go back and read again, pull out some good information here. Thomas has 2 sheets of paper. So he's going to have 2 pieces of paper. He wants to punch 4 equally spaced holes along the edge of each sheet. Now we have to be careful about this because while he wants to do 4 holes, we can't start at 0. So it wouldn't be 0. So we have to do a line and then we have to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're going to make sure when we do this, we do it the right way. So it's going to be tricky when we go to write this out. So I got to remember that. I'm going to put a little star there because it's not going to be 4 lines we do. We're going to have to do more than that, but we'll get back to it. Draw Thomas's 2 sheets of paper next to each other so the ends meet. Label a number line from 0. So I need a number line from 0 to the start of his first paper to 2 at the end of his second. Show where Thomas will punch his holes and label the fractions. So I'm going to start out with his papers. 2 papers. I'm going to try to draw them as equally as I can. All right. Now, 2 sheets of paper next to each other so the ends meet. Number a line from 0. So there's my 0. And this is going to be 2. That means right here in the middle is going to be 1. So when we do this, we're going to need to put 4 equally spaced holes in there. So I'm actually going to show you what this would look like because we got to remember we're doing 4 holes. So we're doing like 1 hole, 2 holes, 3 holes, 4 holes. So be careful when you go to do your fractions because when I draw the lines, that gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. So I'm not dividing this into fifths like I originally thought. Or fourths like I originally thought. I'm going to be dividing this into fifths because we have to have 4 holes. We can't put a hole at 0. That wouldn't work. He wants 4 equally spaced holes. So this one would be, so this would be 0 over 5, 1 fifth, 2 fifths, 3 fifths, 4 fifths. Then we're on the next page, which would be our 5 fifths. And there's not going to be a hole there because we're doing 4 equally spaced holes. We're now at the edge of the paper. So we need to do 1, 2, 3, 4 lines for our next one. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to label those up. So this would be 6 fifths, 7 fifths, 8 fifths, 9 fifths, and then over here would be 10 over 5, 10 fifths. So every red line, there is now a hole. But we don't care about any of them other than what fraction is labeled at the 8th hole. So we need to find our hole. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4. There's no hole here because that is the end of the first paper. So we're going to do 5, 6, 7, 8. So what fraction is at the 8th hole? That would be 9 fifths is labeled at the 8th whole. That was an incredibly tricky word problem. I hope you guys enjoyed doing it today. It really challenged my brain.